Modern culture celebrates autonomy. We're told the highest virtue is living our own truth, answering to no one, acting as sovereign rulers of our lives. But an ancient text offers a terrifying counter-narrative to that ideal. The 19th chapter of the Book of Judges acts as a dark mirror, showing the outcome of an entire society actually achieving absolute self-rule. This is the cascade effect. When a society lacks a shared moral authority, the resulting failures move through every layer of the community, starting at the family level and moving outward to the national government. We tend to think our private compromises are contained, that what we do behind closed doors is victimless and remains isolated to us. The reality is much sharper. When a culture rejects a supreme king to simply do what is right in its own eyes, private, hidden sins become the direct catalysts for public ruin. This map traces a journey through ancient Israel. The route starts in the hill country of Ephraim. Following this path is a Levite, a spiritual leader who compromised his calling by taking a concubine. Their journey eventually crosses into the city of Gibeah. In ancient Near Eastern culture, hospitality was a strict, non-negotiable duty. Yet as night falls in Gibeah, not a single local citizen offers them shelter. The entire community has abandoned baseline cultural morality. An elderly foreigner finally takes them in, but the situation escalates rapidly. A local mob surrounds the house. They pound on the doors, demanding the host hand over the Levite so they can sexually assault him. Faced with the mob, the spiritual leader makes his choice. In a raw act of cowardice and self-preservation, the Levite pushes his own concubine outside to the mob and slams the door shut behind her. When the very man tasked with spiritual leadership and protection abandons his duty to save himself, the last line of defense for the vulnerable vanishes. His compromise leaves the weak at the mercy of the mob. When dawn breaks, the Levite opens the door to resume his journey. He finds the woman collapsed on the threshold, dead from the abuse she suffered through the night. Instead of appealing to God or a legal court, the Levite dismembers her body, fracturing it into 12 pieces. He sends one piece to each tribe. The message spreads outward from Gibeah across the tribal network, a morbid call to arms. The delivery triggers massive mobilization. The 11 tribes gather armies and march on Benjamin, demanding they surrender the abusers. The Benjamites refuse. The resulting civil war is catastrophic. Tens of thousands die, and the tribe of Benjamin is nearly erased from the map. The Levite met a moral vacuum with eye for an eye vigilantism, but answering extreme violence with unrestrained revenge doesn't restore justice. It simply completes the destruction of the social fabric. Reading through this sequence, a critical theological question naturally surfaces. Where was God while all of this was happening? The text offers no divine intervention here, but God's intentional silence is a judgment in itself. He steps back to reveal the pure ugliness of humanity when we are left entirely to our own devices. This chaos creates a historical longing. The text repeatedly notes that Israel had no king, highlighting a desperate need for a righteous leader to bring order out of tribal blood feuds. This longing for a king who rules with both justice and mercy is the historical bridge to the arrival of Jesus Christ. The story of Judges 19 shows precisely why humanity requires his leadership to escape the cycle of self-destruction, which brings the mirror back to us. Look at your own life. Identify the private areas, how you manage your time, how you treat relationships, or the habits you hide, where you are operating without a king. It is dangerous to rationalize these seemingly small deviations from God's design. The Levite's story started with a single selfish choice that eventually led to the decimation of an entire tribe and a cycle of internal slaughter. You interrupt this cycle by actively submitting your private governance to divine leadership. That means acknowledging his authority over the hidden things and choosing to be a deliberate light in your environment, rather than blending into the shadows. Judges 19 forces us to confront our own capacity for darkness, because it is only when we see the true cost of doing what is right in our own eyes that we will truly abandon self-rule and run toward the true king.